Hi everybody, this is Fabiola and I am on my way to Nashville, Tennessee to go to a boutique called the Business Boutique. No, not a boutique. What am I talking about? A conference called the Business Boutique. It's something that one of my dear friends, Claire, has recommended to me to go to pump me up about my business. Not only just to pump me up, but also to help me to continue to move forward in my business. So, considering this is my first video, I guess I should let you know a little bit about myself. I am in my early 30s, about to be in my mid 30s. I have 4 awesome children. I have 3 girls and 1 boy, and the reason why I'm not looking at you is because I'm actually driving, but I'm going to keep looking at the road so I don't get into an accident, but I will look down just to be right, okay, and do some eye contact. But I'm doing it now especially because my kids are not in the car and it's just me by myself. Check this out, no kids, and I know my car is dirty, don't judge me, but it is what it is, okay? So anyway, I have 4 kids, and then my kids are I have one who's about to be 16. Yes, I know I look very young for my age because it doesn't crack. Yes, awesome skincare. But I also started life early, as my mother says it. So I have a 16-year-old. I'm about to be 16-year-old in a few months. I have a 9-year-old, and that's my little chocolate drop girl version. And then I have a 3-year-old. That is the one who keeps me on my toes, I'll put it like that. Very strong little girl, very, very strong little girl. And then I have my my youngest, my son. Hashtag my son. I love my son. And he is my sunshine on a cloudy day, okay? I love that little boy. But so he is, he's my last one, and my son is 8 months and getting ready to be 9 months. So I have that. I'm also a military spouse. My husband is in the Army, and we have been married for almost 16 years now as well. He is living in another state, and it's been like that for the past 3 years. So I'm basically a single mom, and it's been like that for a good portion of the time that we've been married. So I'm basically a single married mother. So ladies who are single parents, I get it. I really, really, really do get it. This has been my life as long as I can remember. It's very, very annoying, but it is what it is, right? What else can I tell you guys? I am a registered nurse by trade. And I love being a nurse. I love being a nurse because I love to help people. I genuinely have a heart to serve people, and I love to help people in any way at all possible. The part that I love to, my specialty is in women's health. So I'm in women's health, and in the hospital I do like postpartum care and labor and delivery and all that other good stuff. Outside of that, I do public health. So that's dealing more so with like health promotion and disease prevention and all that other stuff. I feel like I'm rambling on, but I just want you to know a little bit about me. What else? Oh, and of course the business, right? So I became, the concept for my business came like a long time ago. I actually became, my entrepreneurial spirit, that thing in me that stimulates, that entrepreneurial bug came in me about like 10-11 years ago, but I didn't actually start my business until when I was actually in nursing school, when the concept came up to me. It actually started a little bit like this. So I went to this girl's house that was in my nursing school, and she had like it was like a scrub or something like that in her bathroom. And then I was like, hey, what's that? Being all nosy, okay? So I'm like, what's that? And she's like, oh, it's a scrub. A scrub? A scrub for what? And she's like, a body scrub. I was like, oh, okay. And it was like in a jar, whatever. It was like in a jar, and it had like, I don't know what it was exactly, but, and I was like, you made that yourself? She's like, yeah. Ding, 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 ding. Why don't you sell it? And she's like, oh no, I don't want to sell it. I'm like, well, if you sell it, you can make a whole lot of money. Now, let me tell you this. The thing about that is that when this actually occurred, right, there were not a lot of the whole natural hype thing did not actually start yet. Okay, so this was like still somewhat new, you know. But it just boggled my mind. I was like, man, that is so cool. Like, I would love to do something like that, you know. And then I told her while she started business, but she didn't want to do it. I was like, okay, well, cool, you don't want to do it, I'll do it for you. And that's how it started. So I started thinking to myself, okay, I was already creating products from before then. When I went natural with my hair, and I decided to stop using chemicals to care for my hair, such as relaxers and all those other chemical-laden products, I decided to start my own hair products, and then they were actually doing really good. So from that point, and then also when I had my my 9-year-old, when I was pregnant with her, I started doing a lot of research, and I found out, man, there's a lot of junk in those things. So then I started making products, and then come to find out, like I said, they were good, and not only were they good, but they actually worked. So then I was like, you know what? Hey, I already know how to do this. Let me start focusing on this, and I started doing that. And as I started doing that, my business was born. And then that was basically it. And then as I was thinking about the name, I remember I was actually in church. And I was like, okay, Lord, I know you're the one who's putting this on my heart. Because I've always known since I was like a little girl, I always knew that I was going to be a businesswoman of some sort, you know. And as I was sitting there in church, I was like, Lord, what do you think I should name this business? Because I want to dedicate this thing to you. Because I know you're the one who's putting it in my heart to do this. So tell me what I should name it. What's the best thing? So as I was praying about it, what the Lord, He gave me, the verse that He gave me was that we were fearfully and wonderfully made. And I was like, huh, fearfully and wonderfully made. So then I was like, you know what, that is so awesome. You know what I mean? Because we were very, very well thought out. You know, I think if you really understand how, just the physiological portion of it, just like how our bodies were created, and the things that the things that our bodies can do, and how there's like so many like compensation systems that come into play. Like when one thing fails, another thing pops up to make sure that our body continues to move forward. Oh my God, like it's amazing. Like God is freaking awesome. Okay, so then I thought about it. Man, we were so wisely made. So the business became called. So the business I called it Wisely Made, because we are wisely made. So that is that's how I came up with the name of my business. Okay, so that's where we're at. But the only thing that I regret is that I don't want to say regret. You know, there's no reason to regret anything, because I guess, you know, knowing what I know now, even though that was 7 years ago when this whole thing came into my mind, you know, although I know that I could have been a whole lot further, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, really and truly, you know. Because at the time I had just came out of nursing school. I was trying to, you know, get my foundation in nursing, and then, you know, I ended up moving because my husband, he got stationed. Because at the time we were living in New York City, where I'm from, born and raised, by the way, Brooklyn, New York, whoop whoop. And a few months after the fact that I finished graduating, we ended up moving to Jersey. Not Jersey, excuse me. We ended up moving to Georgia. And things just kind of just slowed down, and it didn't move the way that I anticipated it. However, although it didn't move the way that I thought it should have, I kept on moving, and that was the important thing, right? So from that point, for the past 7 years, I have created my business and, you know, working on it. And along the way, I learned a lot, a whole lot. A lot of failures, a lot of mistakes, but you know, rejection, mistakes, failures, and all that, all those things are just really and truly a part of the game, you know, because sometimes that's the best way to learn, honestly, you know. And because of what I've learned, I'm able to take those things and pass it down to other people, you know what I mean. And because of my situation, also because I'm essentially a single parent, because I am, and also another thing also is that even after I finished school and I graduated and I was working, even though I couldn't work full time because of my husband's job, which always took precedence over anything that I ever did, you know, I was, you know, I went back to school. And so I was always in school, and then, so even I was still working on my business, it's like, I could never go work on it 100%, you know? And it's something that bothers me because I'm like, where could I have been? But it's okay, like I said, because it is what it is, you know? Like, God knew what was happening. He put this in my heart, and I did what I was supposed to do. Just may not have been as fast and how I wanted it to be, but, you know, it is what it is, you know? God, He knew when He made this plan for me what it was, you know? Because in the end, as Jeremiah 29:11 says, you know, for I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, you know? And God, He knew, and I take great comfort in that. And I know that He has placed people in my life and different things such as that, where it needs to be at for me to get to where I need to be, you know? So it's a struggle because I am a perfectionist. I like results. I am at the tail end of being in the millennial generation, but you know what? The truth of the matter is, I want things now. You know, I want things now. What I want is what I want. And even though I know the promises that God has for me in this business, it's so hard because especially because I operate in the prophetic gift, and I know and I see the end result. I know what God has for me, and I'm such a visionary, and I can see these things, the end process. I get so impatient in between. So I'm learning how to just chill out and relax in the present as I move forward towards the promise that God has for me. Because in the end, the promise isn't going anywhere, because my God is not a God who says something and it returns unto Him void. It just doesn't happen. If He says it, then it's going to be. And my son is a perfect example of that. Hashtag my son, my son. I love my son. I do. He is just so love him. But, you know, my son, he is, whenever I look at him, I just think about how good God's grace is, because, you know, God gave me the vision for him 11 years ago, honestly, 11 years ago. And God gave me not only did He gave me the vision of him, and He gave me a promise, and He said, I'm going to bless you with a son, and you're going to love this boy. And I love him and I adore him so much. And for 10 years I waited and I stood by faith, even when the doctors told me that I was not going to be able to have any more kids. Even when, thank God, by the grace of God, I had 2 more kids after the fact. But you know what they were? They were girls. And I love my daughters, don't get me wrong, but at the same time too, that was not the son that God promised me. So I was so confused and I was so upset, and it even got to the point where I was just like, you know what? I don't want to have any more kids, because I got so sick and tired of my current situation. Because like I said, I'm a married single mother, because my husband, he's in the military and he's never there, you know. And when my third daughter, my third child, when she was born, 2 months after she was born, my husband left, you know. And I have literally been alone by myself raising my kids by myself. I have no family where I'm at, and it's only just me. So it's like everything just kind of took a back turn. And just even thinking about the promise, I just got to the point where, and even when I remember, let me take it a step back, even when I remember I was in labor with this girl, I remember God told me, He was like, the devil is going to use everything in his power to make you decide that you don't want to have another kid. Let me tell you something, that's exactly what happened too. Because even when I was in labor and everything just went to the left, everything got horrible, crazy, to the point where I almost lost her. She almost died. Like, it just went so crazy. She almost died. I almost died. And, you know, but by the grace of God, she was, you know, she came out. Thank God for emergency C-sections, you know. But, and even then, like, after she was born and my husband ended up leaving, and I'm sitting here dealing with the most whiniest baby. Oh my God, she just always cried. All she did was cry, 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 cry. And in the midst of her, you know, being the way that she was, and I'm by myself with these 3 kids, I was going to school full time and working and doing this business, and I was working on my doctorate degree at the time. And I just remember thinking to myself, I can't do this. Like, I literally almost had a nervous breakdown, and I had basically for the most part, almost nobody except for one person, but she, you know, ended up leaving. and one other person who I know loved me, but I just couldn't take it, and I ended up pushing everybody away because I just didn't know how to deal with the situation. But then, and I got to the point where I said, you know what, I don't want this anymore. I don't want any more kids. I don't care. I don't care. And then God came back to me and he said, do not abort the promise. Don't abort the promise. This is exactly what God told me. Do not abort the promise. Regardless of what the circumstances is, do not abort the promise and this gift and this blessing that I have for you. You know, and that was the middle to end of 2015. A few months later, I was pregnant with my sweet little boy. My God is real, okay? And this is not even something that I was trying for or anything like that. I just remember even like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. I can't believe it, you know? It's not the way that I thought it was going to happen. You know, it's not in a situation that I would have liked, but you know what? My God provides and he keeps his promises. And I said all of that to say it's the same thing for the business. I know what he's put in my heart. I see the end vision. I know what the promise is. And I just know that if he did it, and whenever I look at my son, who is truly the epitome of grace and mercy and just a true example of God provides, and he is a God of his word, you know? If he did it then, why won't he do it again for my business as well as all, and if he's done it all the other times in my life that I could think of, why won't he do it again, right? So I think as I'm sitting here doing this long drive from Augusta, Georgia to Nashville, Tennessee, I know God's put it on my heart to document this journey because I know that I'm entering into a new season, and I know there's other people who are experiencing, if not the same thing, there's something very similar to what I'm going to. And I know there's probably, I'm sure there's other people who's doing this, but at the same time too, who they reach is not who I can reach, you know, because their life story is not the same as mine, you know. And I want to be able to give people hope. And as I'm going through my moments of struggle, I want to be able to let people see that you're not the only one going through those struggles, you know, and we can move on together, right? That's all we can do. It's so funny, I think about like this this example that God gave me the other day. I remember I was sitting in front of Panera and just like, I think I was like complaining in my head or something like that. Not really speaking it out loud, but just like complaining in my head, like I should, yes, that's exactly what I was doing. I should be moving, I should be further than where I'm at right now, right? And sometimes I get in my feelings, you know, as anybody does. And I got so upset because I'm just like, I should be a whole lot further, but I'm not, and it bothers me. And it really, really bothers me a lot. And then I feel like I'm not, you know, moving as fast as I could be, or just basically not where I want to be. And sometimes I can get so frustrated with that. I'm a part of the microwave generation. It is what it is, you know? But, and then as I was sitting there just looking at the sky, because when I'm looking up at the sky, the clouds doesn't look like they're moving. But as I look directly at the clouds are actually moving very quickly. Has that ever happened? Have you ever noticed that before? So like I said, as I'm looking like around, the clouds aren't really doing much, but when you look directly at it, the clouds were just moving very quickly. And what God showed me was this. He was like, and that's you. That's you, Fab. That's exactly you. You know, so when you're looking at yourself, you don't really see how fast that you're moving. It looks like you're not moving at all, or you're moving very slow. You know, you feel like you're stagnant, but the truth of the matter is you're moving very fast, and you just don't realize it. Because in the end, you have to understand, in this world that we live in right here, we're operating in time, right? In the internal sense, things are moving in a way that we can't see nor understand. You know, the Bible talks about how, you know, what we see is temporary and what we don't see is what's eternal, right? So it is what it is. I'm going to catch up. And not even catch up, that's not even the point. The whole point is I'm going to get there because it's for me to get there. And what God has for me, can't nobody take it away from me. And where I'm supposed to be at is where I'm supposed to be at. That's it, for point blank and period. But like I said, I just want to give somebody some hope. My journey, this has been 7 years, and you know what, now that I think about it, 7 means in the Bible completion. And as I enter into my 8th year of this, I know that this is my new season of the as I enter into my 8th year, I know that I'm entering into my new beginning, my season. This may not be for everybody else, but I know for me personally, because I know it and I feel it. I feel it's like literally like the labor pains, and that's what I've been feeling for like, it's been like the past, like very recent, within the past like year or two. For like the past year or two, I've been feeling like labor pains, but I feel like at this point, like I'm in the ring of fire. If you ladies who have had vaginal deliveries know what I'm talking about. I'm literally experiencing the ring of fire where the head is right there. When I mean the head, I'm talking about the promise that I'm getting ready to birth, you know? And as I'm right there, I know that the promise is going to be birthed soon. So anywho, I just hope that that you guys continue to follow me, and that you are able to be blessed by what I've learned. We can share it, we can grow together, and I pray that God will reveal to you the plans that he has for you, as he has for me. Not only, it's not even about God revealing it to you, because he will reveal it to you if you ask, right? So get to the point where you ask God. It's not what you want, but rather what God has created you for. And if you, and then truthfully, you know, go towards, how do they say that? Go to the path that's of least resistance, right? Just do what he tells you to do. If anything, or what he desires to do, that what do you call it? That thing that's inside of you that's like, how can I put it? Like, sometimes you feel like there's something in you that's just,
In 2 miles, use the left 2 lanes to take exit 2 for I-24 west toward Chattanooga, Nashville.
Well, thank you, Google Maps. Yeah, so so anyway, so then, you know, that thing that's inside of you that you have the desire to do that. That's God calling you to do it, you know? And just be led. But anyway, until next time, I hope all is well, and know that I'm praying for all of you who listen to my voice, and you can hear something, that you get something out of this. Be blessed. And I'll update you with whatever I learn.